Hello! So, if you found this video, I'm assuming that you're in the limbo like many of us, including me, was in when I was deciding whether to go to university or to drama school. So in today's video, I'm going to go through my personal experience of when I applied to drama school and university, the differences of applying, and also where I was mentally at the time, and the reason why I personally decided university over drama school. So make sure you stick around and enjoy the video. Just so you know, these videos are going to be part of a kind of series, just all things related to this topic. Otherwise, if I put it all into one video, it's going to be a really long one. So I'm going to save you there. I'm going to split them up. But the first thing I do want to say to you before we get into the backstory of, everything I've done, there is one thing I want to say to you if you're in this situation right now, whether you're in the limbo of deciding what to do. Make sure it's what you want to do. It's a really big commitment to go to either one of these options, and it's so important for it to be right for you, whether it's the right time and you're ready, because it really is a big commitment. And I think probably like me, you're not considering the aspect of student loans, and it really stays with you for most of your life, especially if you're doing something creative, I must say. But yeah, it's a big decision, and just make sure it is right for you. And also, if you're realising that this isn't what you want, that's okay. Literally, university education is not for everyone, and it's not the be all and end all. If it's something that you want to do, go for it, 100%. But if you know in your bones it's not what you want to do, that's fine. Find something else. Make sure you do try and find your passion in whatever field it is. And if you do try these educations and it's not for you, that's alright. It's okay leaving as long as you've got an idea, just something small that you would like to do and pursue, and crack on with that. But honestly, it really is okay if you haven't got it all figured out. Many people don't. It's okay. The main thing I would say, as long as you're trying, that's the most important bit. You've got this. So we're going to go through a little bit of a backstory of where I was at this time, what I was thinking, and what my plans were. So when I was 16, I decided to go to college to focus specifically in acting, because I didn't want to pick a couple other options that I really didn't want to do. So I went to college. And from then on, I literally went to university the moment I hit 18. I didn't take a gap year or anything. I pretty much went through all of education, one after another. So I will admit, when I was in college, I really didn't want to go to uni or anything. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, but at the same time, I had no idea what else to do. So instead of just not applying, when there was the application process of, the best time you should apply, everyone encouraged me to still apply to some places because you never know, you might change your mind. And I thought, yeah, why not? Can't help but doing it in class, so I might as well. But at the time, I just was kind of fed up of education, and as bad as it sounds in theatre in general, I was just so over it. I think, being in education for quite a long time, and the thing that you love purely being around grades and, and sometimes people that aren't passionate about it, I lost my creativity with it, and my love for it a bit. So yeah, at the time I really didn't want to do it, but I had no idea what else to do. But I did know that I wanted to live away from home. Now, parents, I know you're watching this, I love you, adore you, you know this, but when I turned 18, I didn't want to live at home. Everyone was there, and I just wanted freedom. I wanted to live my life. So I was like, oh, this is a good place to kind of maybe grow up a bit, do things for myself, get in really late. Don't do that. And as you can expect, I wasn't ready to knuckle down on education again. I wasn't that focused. Of course, I've always been that type of student to always do my work no matter what. I don't like handing things late or no matter what. But in my first year, I did prioritise going out, having fun, being 18 in clubs and blah, blah, blah. I did waste my time. So this is also why I'm doing this video, to hopefully allow you to avoid what I, not essentially regret, but what I would have liked to tweak if I could, or if I could redo it again. These would be the things that I would say, don't do what I did. But I did know that I wanted to do something within the creative industry, But I just didn't know the avenues. I only knew theatre, that's all I knew. And I was just uneducated about all the options that there are within the industry. So we're going to go into the applying process. First of all, we're going to go through me applying to drama schools. Now, I did apply to a handful of drama schools. I can't really remember them off the top of my head, but I basically just applied to any drama schools that were on the UCAS. I know, a little bit lazy. Again, I wasn't interested really in applying. I was trying to pick the easy way out and just picking all the drama schools, or they're not really colleges, but the ones that are essentially drama schools that you could do freely to a certain extent. Not all of them were, but we'll get to that. But yeah, as I said, I applied to a lot of the drama schools online. Most of them were through UCAS. Yeah, through UCAS. I haven't said that word in donkey's years. Anyway, through UCAS, and then the other ones I applied through their main websites, and you just fill out whatever they need and you prepare whatever they ask for. So don't get me wrong, it depends which drama school you apply to and the course you wanted. But so you know, I wanted only solely straight acting. I didn't do musical theatre or anything like that. So I made sure to prepare 2 classical monologues and 2 contemporary monologues. As for me and what I was recommended, it's always good to have a backup option in case they want another one or a different one, or they do ask for 2. Now thinking back here, I did apply to one that was a actor musicianship. So for that one, I did have to prepare some extra stuff, slightly different. I had to prepare a song and perform it as well. That was extremely intimidating because at the time I wasn't very confident in singing and playing guitar. But alongside the monologues and that, I had to perform a song. So again, depending what course you're applying to, you might have to prepare some classical songs, contemporary songs, you might play an instrument, things like that. Definitely look first before you apply to it to ensure that you can do it or you're confident and comfortable in it. That was all a big realisation that music was going to be more of a hobby just because I never done the grades and things like that, and I realised how underprepared I was compared to a lot of people who've been doing it since they were children. So yeah, I figured that one out that way. But we're going to get onto the drama school bit that most people, or for me, I had no idea about, was a lot of them asked for fees. So fortunately I was able to cover these fees. Well, actually not me, my parents were able to cover the fees, but I really didn't expect it. And fortunately I didn't apply to too many drama schools, so the costs weren't too bad at the time. Don't get me wrong, it's probably changed, it might be more, hopefully less, but I think some of the drama schools were like 40-50 quid per audition, maybe more. And that was just for the audition. It blew my mind that this was a thing, but again, I was uneducated by it all. I had no idea what I was going into. So if you're watching this, do your research, look at the website and see if there's any costs so you can save up until it happens, because you don't want all of these things piling up on you last minute. It's not worth it. And I will admit, when I was applying to these drama schools, I knew that I wasn't ready. To be completely honest, I felt so underprepared, so underskilled. Of course, this could be down to not much confidence, maybe. But I don't know, I kind of felt like I just kind of knew that I wasn't ready. I didn't have enough behind me, and also I just knew that I didn't want to do solely theatre. So I realised quite quick in a lot of the auditions that it just wasn't the vibe for me. I knew it wasn't right, and clearly they knew it as well. Or I was just terrible. No, I'm not going to say that. You can't doubt yourself. You're great. You can imagine my thought process. If this is it now, imagine what it was like when I was 18. God, I don't even know the bloody age. 17. At the time, actually going to the auditions was literally one of the most daunting things that's ever happened to me at that point. I hadn't done many auditions, like, at all. And being thrown into group auditions with everyone watching you, obviously judging you, comparing each other, going, who looks like me? Only one of us is probably going to get the spot. It was just an overload that I wasn't ready for. And yeah, it takes a lot to do our auditions, to do what we do is good on you. Do you know what I mean? I'm rambling. Yeah, I just remember how scary it was. Sidetrack, for one of them I actually stayed at the accommodation overnight. I think it was in Guildford because it was quite far for me to travel. It was during the weekday and no one could drop me off or anything like that. So they put me in one of like the student halls, and it was so weird. I still remember that. It was so bizarre. Yeah. Weird times. So as I said, all of my drama school ones were group auditions, either me performing my monologues in front of everyone, taking it in turn, and then if you did get to the next stage, which I think I did for one maybe or two, such a long time ago, then we went into like kind of group exercises and maybe performed another one. I think we did one of our other backup monologues and just took it a little bit further. And of course, you probably guessed, I got rejected from all of my drama schools. I think I applied to about 5. And yeah, of course it bugged me, like, you know, not being wanted. Actually, the thing that got me, because I didn't understand, was the feedback from all of them was, you're just not experienced enough. You haven't got enough life experience. And of course I was like, what does that mean? Of course I don't. I'm only like 17. How much life experience am I going to have at this age? Now that I'm older, I completely understand it. You know, sometimes you just can't draw on certain emotions and perform certain things. Don't get me wrong, there are some people, but for me, I just wasn't there yet. I wasn't ready, and yeah, so I didn't get in. Granted, yeah, I was a little bit bummed out, but at the same time, I wasn't massively bothered because, again, I was just kind of doing these auditions because I had to, and because I didn't want to go uni. I didn't want to go drama school because, yeah, I knew that I didn't really want to do theatre solely. So I kind of just shrugged it off for as much as I can. For all I know, I could have been devastated. I might have blocked that bit out in my brain, but yeah, didn't get into any of them at all. So if you do get rejected, I think probably everyone you talk to who has applied to a drama school, I'm pretty sure they can say that they've been rejected to one or many more. And unfortunately, sometimes it's just part of the process, but you do learn from each experience. Just try not to let it dishearten you and want to completely give up. That's not the point. It's to build you up, learn more, gain more experience, confidence, and, you know, overall be a better performer. And it might just not be the right thing for you, and you might be absolutely grateful that you didn't get in. You never know. Now we're going to go on to universities. As you can imagine, I applied to, I don't know how many we could apply to, might have been like 5 universities. But as you can guess, it was the same type of thing to prepare, either classicals or contemporary monologues. But they will tell you once you apply, or at least it will be on their websites of what they require for when you audition. But the difference was, for me personally, for the university auditions, is none of them were group auditions. They were all either one-on-one or they were with like the main course leader and a couple of the lecturers on the courses. So it was so much less intimidating for me to go from the drama school ones straight to just one person. It gave me so much more confidence. And once I'd done the monologues, they were just kind of more of an interview process, asking you questions about you, what you want to do, your experience and so forth. So imagine if you have done any job interviews, it's kind of like those sort of questions. But yeah, it was so much less nerve-wracking than the drama schools in my experience. I think purely because I went through the drama school ones first, because they were at the beginning of the summer for me. And yeah, I had a lot more confidence going into them. And I think also being rejected to that many, I was just kind of like, stuff it, let's just see what happens. I don't care. That's really bad when I think about it. But hopefully it gives you a bit of an understanding of where my mindset was, and it might help you where you are. But once I got my first acceptance to a university, funny enough, I got all the confidence in the world and I got very cocky. I was like, cool, I'm great at this. I'm going to get into every single one and they all want me. Of course that didn't happen, but, you know, my confidence was there. And weirdly enough, the more confident I was and the more I was like, I don't care, if they want me, they want me, the more I was getting into the universities, which I didn't understand, but I just kind of rolled with it. Fortunately enough, after I got accepted, I had a couple auditions like back to back, so I was in that stride, which was, I think, probably quite lucky for me. So after being accepted to a handful of universities, the one that I decided to go to was Southampton Solent University. It wasn't just because of the course and, you know, loving the prospect of what it was going to be. The main reason that sold it for me was also because I fell in love with the city. I really felt like I could see myself there. It wasn't too far away from my parents. I was still not living at home, but I was still close enough to still needing help when I did. And yeah, it was just the perfect option for me, and I just rolled with it. It was where I wanted to go. And funny enough, it was all focused in theatre actually when I started there. There was the prospects of doing other stuff with like musical theatre, because I dabbled in it a bit, and yeah, things like that. But I don't know, I just fell in love with the city, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go here and see what happens. But fortunately enough for me, in my second year, there was a course leader change, and she wanted to focus more on screen as well and make it hopefully 50-50 of theatre and screen, which was a godsend for me because, as you may know from my other videos, or you know me, I fell in love with screen, and that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, it was one of the best things that could have happened to me without even knowing. Now, that's a rough breakdown of my process of applying to the drama schools and universities. So they're my main pointers of when I applied to both of them, but I want to give you a couple more points of things I think you should consider. So when you're looking at the course, no matter where it is, what it is, make sure you look at the specifications of the course, like the breakdown of what you're going to be doing each year and the percentage of what you're going to be graded like. And this might sound a little bit bizarre, but for me, I'm not the strongest writer and never have been, and especially at the time going to university, I was atrocious at writing. But what I didn't realise is every year the writing percentage of each course for the grades was going up and up and up, meaning my final year, a lot of my final grades would have been on my writing skills. And I figured that out a bit too late. Actually, I didn't even figure out, I got told. So make sure you look at it and see if it's the right thing for you and it suits your strengths, you know. I had the unfortunate thing that all of my grades were being brought down by my written. Even though my performances were a really high grade, they were being brought down. And I will say, a little pointer to put in right here, university and drama school is not all about the grades. Of course, it is if you want to continue into masters and education and go into teaching. But if you're like me and you want to go into the creative industry, it's not the be all and end all to get the best grade. It's all about the experience you get, what you take from it, all the valuable skills that you learn and how you apply it into your career. So yeah, I did want to just, that was a little extra bit to throw at you. But just looking at the course and seeing what you're going to be learning through the years might give you a bit of a better idea of things that you want to do and don't want to do, because you don't want to be going into one of the years going, I hate every single class we're doing. It might help you figure out better what type of course is best for you and where to go. If I knew this pointer or really considered these sort of things, I probably would have reconsidered going into university and maybe tried to go to drama schools the next year or the year after, because the writing thing was a really big thing for me. It really did set me back. So if you're kind of like me, learn from my mistake and look at the course breakdown and what you're going to be doing properly, not just reading the titles. Literally see what you're going to be doing, or ask them. Just ask, please. Now, I'm always one for not trying to regret things, because you can't change it. It's got to where you are today. But if I did do things differently, I think I personally would have taken a gap year. Because as I've already explained, I wasn't in it. I wasn't in the right mindset, I think, personally, to go to university. You know, just taking a breather from education could have been one of the best things for me. Granted, I could have wasted the whole year and spent all my time in pubs and stuff. I could have. But if I like to think the best of it, I just wasn't really ready for universities. I kind of wasted my first year, I feel. As much as I'd done all the work and I did, of course, learn things, I just didn't appreciate, you know, the time that I'm wasting and how much I could be learning and improving on myself as an actor and a performer. And yeah, I just got too wrapped up in the whole kind of freshers and uni life for a bit too long. So yeah, if you feel like you're kind of in that mindset, maybe a gap year is a good thing to do, but it's not a time to just waste and do nothing. Make sure you actually make the most of it, whether it's trying to figure out more what you want to do, or even you try things and then you find out you don't want to do it. I think it'll be really essential, and I think I probably could have got a lot from it. But do I regret my decision to go to university overall instead of drama school? And that is no. Without going into all the specific details of my experience for university, which I'll go through in further videos, I wouldn't change it. I really wouldn't. Because I wouldn't be where I am today without it. I wouldn't be me right now with all the things that I've learnt and, you know, failed at and tried again and done new things. Without going to that university, I may have not discovered my passion for screen acting, literally the thing that I want to do now and as far as I know forevermore. Like, I may have not discovered that. I may have not discovered voiceover when I did. I probably wouldn't have discovered motion capture when I did, and I wouldn't have met my boyfriend who introduced me into the world of video game voiceover. One of my first big roles in video games and helped me further my career more than I think I ever would have done on my own. And yeah, just landing such big opportunities from things that I learned at university so quickly after graduating, I wouldn't want to change that. But university or drama school shouldn't be a thing that you should regret. I think it should be something that you've learnt from or you've taken away from it. Even if you go there for 1 term, a year, or you're there for 3 years, however long. I think you shouldn't ever regret your decision. It's more about learning from it. And if you're at the stage that I'm saying, before we've even got there, hopefully you'll learn from things that I wish that I could have tweaked and adjusted if I could have. And just overall things that I wish I knew. And when I think of the whole comparison when it comes to drama school or university is, it's what you put into it. It's not going to get handed to you. It's no matter where you go, no matter what opportunities you get, at the end of the day, it's how much you put into it and how much work you do. No matter where I was, whether it was drama school or university, if I didn't put in as much as work as I did in my second year, really knuckling down and focusing on my career and the path that I would have after university, I wouldn't have done half the things I've done. Of course, it helps with certain connections and opportunities that certain schools can bring, granted. If you don't take advantage of it, for most of us, you're not going to get handed it to you. You need to work for it. And if you're not ready for that, maybe it's not the right time for you, and think fully what you want to do, what is right for you. So that's it, that's all done, that's me said everything for today. I hope I haven't sounded preachy or anything like that, but I really hope this just kind of helps you have a better understanding of what you would like to do. And of course, if there's any questions you have or further specific topics you would like me to cover, just let me know in the comments down below and I will make sure to reply to your questions and make a video about it. But I hope you have a good day, good evening, wherever you are. And as always, thank you for watching my video and make sure you take care. And if you are applying to drama schools, universities, wherever you're going, good luck. Honestly, I wish you all the best. And if it doesn't go the way you planned or the way you hoped, that's okay. Everyone's career has a different path, a different journey. It's all kind of meant to be. It's all will line out eventually. But yeah, all the best. I'll see you in my next video. Alright, bye.